Drills Talk, episode 26. In this episode, we're going to discuss the top 5 ways to keep small issues small. This is based off of a blog I wrote in the past entitled Don't Make the Dent a Disaster. People have bad days and make decisions that's going to cause bad months. They are quitting their job for a bad day. They're leaving relationships that they loved for a bad conversation. People scuff their left shoe and throw away the pair. What is the matter with you? Drills Talk, episode 26. In this episode, we're going to discuss the top 5 ways to keep small issues small. But before we get started, please like, subscribe, comment if you would like. Every Monday, we have a new blog. Every Wednesday, new vlog. Every Friday, new beat produced by me, aka Drills. Let's get right into it. Number one. Number one is to think before you react. The reason people can break up in these bad conversations is because they're being sporadic. They're just reacting to what they hear. They're not really thinking about the consequences. There are no consequences. Right now they're upset. They're going to do what makes them feel good, be that yell back or walk away from the entire situation. It can be quitting the job. That made me feel good right then and there. It can be leaving the relationship. That made me feel better, and I know that hurt the other person. Okay, I'm upset that I messed up my shoes, and I'm not even going to bother cleaning them. I'm just going to throw them away. All right, well, now you need another pair of shoes, or at least you don't have those anymore. What are we doing that for? Like, how good does that make us feel? It can't make us feel that good. I mean, that instant gratification is really getting us in trouble for the next couple of whatever. It can be a bad decision that can cause you years of bad luck or hard life because you wanted to feel good in that moment. You have to watch how you react. I mean, of course, I'm human. I'm guilty of it too. But I definitely, take a step back and I ask myself, okay, well, whatever your reaction is going to be, whatever you're going to let come out your mouth, are you okay with, the causation? Like, I mean, what is that going to, bring to you? Are you going to have to apologize for the next week, week and a half, 2 weeks, 2 months? Are you going to have to find a job? If you quit your job, you're going to have to find a job. How long is that going to take to find one? Yes, it feels real good walking out of there and you're like, I don't need y'all. But do you? Do you need them? You don't know. I mean, I don't know your situation. But if you do, why do that? I mean, it can't feel that good. You're putting yourself in a hole for what? Just to feel good or be the man or the woman for that 1 hour, and the people, your coworkers or former coworkers looking like, oh, she did it. She finally did it, or he did it. It's not really worth it, because the next day when they're waiting on their paycheck and you're like hoping to get another one from another company, it's not going to feel as good. It's not really that move, So number one, definitely, think before you react. Number two is to always seek solutions. So you get into a big situation or a dent, I would say, and you're like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this is happening to me. Why is it happening to me? It's going to happen to somebody else. That doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? What we're going to think about is, how are we going to solve this issue? I'm having a bad day at work. Solving an issue could be as simple as putting on headphones. Solving an issue could be, taking a little extra 30 minutes for lunch if you can, and you don't have a meeting right after lunch. It can be, listening to comedy while you work. I did that for like a good year and a half when I was in the office in a cubicle setting. I would throw my headphones on and I would listen to comedy stations through work. Of course, I take a break if I had a meeting and, I had to go to lunch or whatever, but that got me through. And you should find what's going to get you through. If it's not bothering anybody and it's not affecting your work, find that solution and get yourself through it. If you're arguing in a relationship and it's constant arguments and it's the same issue, try addressing that issue. I mean, you're in a relationship is very rarely 100 to 0 as far as the problems in a relationship. So how can you fix your percentage, whatever that percentage may be? It's going to be that much better, even if the other person doesn't fix their end. So it may be worth, addressing, maybe worth taking a look at. This is not the time to really point blame or sulk. It has to be resolved. There's a dent, there's an issue, there's a problem, there's something there, but we can solve this problem. You don't want it to, linger and then cause more problems. And then you're like, oh my goodness, this is something that I can't handle. This is more than I can handle. I can't believe this. It's because instead of seeing the problem and thinking about solutions, you were seeing the problem and trying to turn yourself into the immediate victim. It doesn't matter if you're a victim. Things happen to everybody. The important part is, what is the solution? This dent can be something that you caused. It can be something that, just happened to you. But what does it matter? It already occurred. That thought, that, back and forth of, oh my goodness, this wasn't even my fault. I did everything right. It doesn't really matter. You are where you are right now. This is the present. How are we going to solve it? That's how you keep small issues small. Oh, this sucks. Yeah, it does. But I'm not about to let it linger and grow into something that is going to suck even more. No, I'm going to make sure I can address the issue, make sure I acknowledge that there's an issue, and go forward. Why let it linger? What is that going to do? Give you more to complain about, or more reason to say, oh my goodness, it's not my fault. Look what's happening now. Look, it was just this, and now it's all of this. Well, yeah, you allowed it to be all of that. Why did you? Let's not do that anymore. Number three is to address the issue. So you finding the solutions. Okay, I got it. Now we're going to address it. What is the issue? What was my solution? How can I actually get to that, execute my solution, and resolve this problem? Because more are coming. They don't stop. So why let it stockpile? Let's not let it stockpile. We're going to acknowledge this issue, whatever it may be. If it's work related, fine. If it's, relationship or life related or something personal, and it's just you, it's a self issue that you're going to have to resolve. Okay, at least we know it's here. Acknowledging it is going to stop it from growing, one. And you're going to say, okay, well, I have a solution. And you're not thinking about the fact that you didn't put that problem there. That problem is yours regardless. So what are we going to do? We're going to acknowledge this issue by addressing it head on. We're not trying to, go around in circles. We're going to acknowledge it head on. Let's give an example at work. I was supposed to get a promotion. I didn't get the promotion. The person I thought was, I guess, way behind me got the promotion. I am past upset. I'm way more than disappointed. I'm ready to leave. What do? Now, you can get that news, walk out the room, go get in your car, and never come back. You can, but that's not the responsible thing to do unless you planned on leaving that week anyway. The responsible thing to do is, okay, this company doesn't value me the way they should value me. I'm not really worried about getting a promotion here anymore. I know that they don't respect what I bring to the table, or they don't respect what I bring to the table as much as they respect what they bring to the table, whoever they did give the promotion to. All right, cool. So what you do in your spare time, whatever that is, it could be lunch, you take phone call interviews or whatever. I've done that too, in my car during lunch, interviewing. You can do that. After work, from on your way home, you can phone interview. If you have to, do a face-to-face interview, take a day. They don't respect you anyway. You take that day and you go to a company that's going to set you up. They're going to give you more money. They're going to give you that instant promotion because you're not going to leave a company for a parallel move. You're moving up. So you're going to get that promotion instantly. You're going to get more money. It's worth, not having lunch and taking an interview, or, riding home from work and not hearing the radio or whatever you do on your drive home and just having an interview with somebody. Why not? That's the time that's available. So that's when we're going to do it. There may be some people that's even willing to talk to you after dinner. I've had some 7 p.m. interviews. It wasn't the first one. You have to build a rapport. But, second interview or the last interview before they make you the offer, doesn't matter what time it is. But you got to get there. So, but that's the solution. That's acknowledging the issue. This company doesn't respect me. I'm going to go somewhere else. But I don't need to blow up and mess up my money. That process of going to, another company can take 2 weeks to a month to 6 weeks. So what's the rush? Let me just collect these checks. I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. I know I'm already out. I'm already leaving. So the fact that this person got their, promotion and their raise, no big deal. The fact that people are looking at me and I'm wait, he was supposed to get that promotion. Why didn't he get it? No sweat. Maybe I'll get it next year. Whatever you gotta fluff up. So whatever. Yeah, maybe I'll get it next year. He was deserving or whatever, or she was deserving. Whatever you need to say, it doesn't matter. You're no longer there. You're not really there anymore. So it doesn't matter. It's not going to hurt you as much. You probably won't have to listen to as much music or comedy as you need to because you're leaving. So it's all good. Things that would have irritated you no longer irritate you. You're just waiting for that offer to come through via email. And once that comes through, you put in your 2 weeks and then you're gone. And then they'll really respect you because they'll see the void that you leave. Number four is to not focus on cause. So I touched on this a little bit in, you worrying about that you didn't have nothing to do with it. It's not my dent. It's not something that I caused. Again, what happens happened. It doesn't matter. Don't worry about cause. Don't worry about whose fault it was. Just know that it's on your plate. And whatever's on your plate, you're going to handle. No big deal. The issue is irritating. It's going to take some time. It's taking time out of something, you could have been doing something else or nothing at all. Maybe you just wanted to chill. But this problem is something that you got to tackle every day when you get home from work, or something you got to tackle every day when you get to work. It's just something that needs to be done. You wasting time and thinking about, oh, well, why couldn't this happen to somebody else? Is a moot point. Like, for what? What are we doing that for? It's basically finding ways to make yourself a victim, giving yourself an excuse to ball up and just sulk, and that doesn't really help. I'm not gonna try to say like don't have feelings and don't cry and don't listen, but if you're just gonna curl up in a ball, the world's gonna beat you up. So try to get a little bit of backbone as far as when problems come your way. No, it didn't have to be you, but it was you. No, it didn't have to happen to you, but it did. Things happen. And we can't just keep asking, why me? Why me? It's people, way worse things happen to other people. Why them? No one asks that question. Every year somebody's going to high school and something tragic happens and they never get to go to high school. Some star athlete going to college and over the summer something bad happens to them and they can't play or they lose their life. Things happen. You're dealing with a hit and run. You're dealing with, a business loan that didn't go through. All right, well, reapply. Come on. They're bigger issues. They're always bigger issues. And that's one thing you can use to help yourself. It's like, okay, well, this sucks. I don't want to deal with this, but this would suck more. Let me go ahead and deal with this small problem while it's small. Or even if it's a larger problem, let me deal with this larger problem before it comes like a mountain. Think about that. Give yourself an out. Give yourself a chance before that, little monster becomes a gigantic Godzilla-sized issue in your life. And you're just like, goodness, if I would have just addressed it and tackled it, I'll be in a way better situation right now. Yes, you would be. You're absolutely right. So let's just do it the first time. Why not? Number 5. Number 5 is to acknowledge disaster. So that disaster is, okay, if I don't tackle this, if I don't address the issue, if I don't acknowledge the issue, if I don't, ignore the cause, what happens? How bad can this get is basically the question here, which if nothing else happened or nothing else helps you on this list, this will. I'm in a bad, argument with, a girlfriend, and I say, you know what? I really, really, really want to break up right now. What's the worst that could happen? I can break up, right? The bond that we have is never the same, or we never talk again, right? There's potential that was my wife, the person I was supposed to have kids with, all of this, right? There's a potential that this was a future business partner, and, I would have been able to work with my wife, and, it would have been great, and all this other stuff. Like, all that is potential. And that's a disaster. Losing that person, going through life after that breakup that made you feel good for that moment or that day or that week, and never finding a person that you can see fit as you would have saw her fit or him fit, if you're a female. It's like, why did I give that up? that argument wasn't that important. That argument was a disagreement we've had before. It's just that I was already upset from something else that occurred, and that just pushed me over the edge. And I was just like, you know what? I'm out of here. It's over. You made that dent a disaster. Leaving work when it's not time to leave work, quitting a job too early is creating a disaster out of a dent. Don't do it. It feels good that moment. That drive home probably feel good. You'll be up that night thinking like, why? Because no matter how enraged we get, we don't stay that mad. And then you calm down. And when you calm down, you make a little better decisions. You're thinking more logically. You're thinking clearly. And you're like, I could have handled this situation a lot better. I made that dent a disaster. Now, you can try to call back and say, oh, I was blah, blah, blah. But you showed your tail, and the chances of you getting your job back are slim, right? Yeah, it's probably not going to occur. You break up with that male or female, and you're like, okay, well, I overreacted. Now, there's a chance they'll take you back, but there's also a chance that you really hurt them. You hurt their feelings. You did something or said something that they felt you would never say, and they don't want nothing to do with you now. So yeah, that whole future life, that potential life of, setting businesses up together and building this great family and having somebody who thinks like you and is as strong as you, strong-minded and go-getter like you. Now you're like 30, 40, 50, 60 years old, and you're still looking for that person that thinks like you, that can, go on with you for the rest of your life, and not around, because you've already gotten that person and you let them go because of an argument, and you wanted to feel good for that day. Just something to think about. Don't make the dinner disaster. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. It's drills.com. Check this out. It's Drills.